Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. This is episode number 10. Episode number 10, week 10. I'm happy to be here, blessed to be here with you all this Saturday morning. This is a special podcast because I'm taking the podcast public. Like, this is the first step into opening up the podcast to a bigger audience. I made that decision when I initially started the podcast. I said if I can do 10 of these, I might as well put this on YouTube. And for the entrepreneurs that are on the call, if you're a real estate agent, if you're practicing dentist, I have clients that are dentists. If you're a doctor, if you're a teacher, if you're some type of athletic trainer, you may be able to take something from today's podcast. I know you will, because I'm going to share one of the biggest mistakes I've made in business, and I've probably made all of them, but I'm going to share one of the biggest mistakes. If you're an artist, I'm going to share one of the biggest mistakes I believe all of you can benefit from. I also have another special guest, young man. Some of the Inner Circle members know Derrick Anthony came up through the coaching program, is now running I consider it $1 million real estate investing business. He's bought and sold over $3 or $4 million in residential real estate between Baltimore and Westminster, Maryland. The young man is now lending money on deals to others in our network. And he is rehabbing houses. He just finished another rehab project. So I brought him on for this special event because he's the age, I believe he's 24. He's either 24 or 26. But at around that age is when I became a full-time real estate investor, between the age of 24 and 26, where I put everything else down. And I believe it was 24 because I graduated college when I was 24 in 2006. I put down my job, I put down my basketball coaching career, and I said, I'm going to do real estate. Okay. So, wow, this is going to be great. So let's jump into the biggest mistake. I'm going to start off with mindset. Okay. My first mindset shift took place when I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That opened up my mind to like this new world of finance, business, investing. It was like an introductory to this new world that I had never heard about. If you are on this Zoom or watching this podcast replay and you haven't read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I don't care if you're 20, I don't care if you're 70, 80, that's one of the best places to start to change your mind. Okay. Now, growing up, we've all had these buried, embedded belief systems thrown on us. Okay. And they've become a part of our subconscious. What do I mean by this? Go to school, get a good education, get a good job. That's what our parents told us. My parents would say, if you don't go to my dad, he would say, if you don't go to school, you can end up homeless. Because if you don't go to school, you can't get a good job. That means you're not going to be able to afford anything. That was kind of like his way of scaring me into doing better in school. Everybody's raised differently. That was my experience. Another embedded belief that I was taught growing up is don't be a copycat. Don't or I had a younger brother, and my my dad would tell my younger brother, "Why are you always copying off your brother?" That's not a bad thing if you're doing the right thing, right? Now, as I'm an older man, I've matured, and that's my father had but so much personal growth and self-development. I mean, a lot of us are taught don't be a copycat, but he was a working 9 to 5 man. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mentor. I want people to copy me. So that belief stayed with me for a very, very long time, even when I became an entrepreneur. And this leads into the the biggest digital. So you got different mistakes as an entrepreneur now. You got financial mistakes. I've made those. You got managerial mistakes. I've made those. You have digital mistakes. Okay, this is digital. We're on Zoom. Okay. In 11, 12 years ago, actually, no, about 14, 15 years ago, in college, I discovered YouTube. No one really was talking about YouTube 14, 15 years ago. And I decided to put a YouTube video up. I'm going to see if I can find it. So bear with me, folks. Oh, I got to recognize our inner circle members that are on Zoom today. Shaquan Davis, Gladys Bragg. I can continue to go down this list, but I want to find this YouTube channel. I'm going to show you. It may have been 12 years ago. Okay, here it is. Let's see when I put my first video up. Oldest. Yes, 12 years ago. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you the very first YouTube channel. So this is 2010. Okay. All right. So all of you can see this. APN 2011. Okay. The meaning behind that, A+ neighborhood. Home buyers, that's the market. That's the brand I was using to buy homes in my market during that time. And 2011 was the year I declared that I would be making $1 million or more. Okay. So this is the first video. We were making a lot of buzz in the city. I was about 25, 20, between 24 and 26, like I said earlier. And we were making a lot of buzz in the city. And a couple of media outlets heard about us. So look, this was 2009. I put my first video, March 25th, 2009. This is crazy. This is really gonna mess y'all up. My dad's birthday is March 25th. It's either March 23rd or March 25th. This is the same guy that told me not to be a copycat. So this was my business partner, Michael Jones. That's inside my house where we ran the real estate business. This is that's me. I'm like 60 pounds lighter. We had window air conditioning units. This is a house we renovated. This is one of the interns on the steps. This is crazy. I did not own a laptop at this time. So this is 2009, right? Now you can find that channel, APN 2011, but that's not the channel I want to talk about today. And I'm going to go into my mistakes soon. So look at this. This is there's only 168 subscribers. I don't use this channel anymore. I believe I transferred all these videos to another channel. But the last time I posted a video on this channel was 10 years ago. In what year was that? 2011. While I was pulling my real estate company out of the Great Recession. Some of you that have been following this podcast know about my 9-day sell your house in 9 days. I had some testimonials of people coming out. So this is REI Inner Circle, the YouTube channel that I created shortly after I created APN 2011. And this goes into the digital mistake. When I created this channel, there was maybe one other African American run real estate YouTube channel. And it was run by a friend of mine named Sam Bell in Atlanta. Okay. There may have been another guy down in Florida, but I'm pretty sure he came after myself and Sam. Sam was the first African American. He's actually Puerto Rican and African American. First guy I saw on YouTube that inspired me. It's like, wow, I should throw my content on YouTube. I actually came across him while I was attending Morgan State. And when I graduated, I said, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. Okay, this is before we had iPhones. We had to actually use a camcorder, and then we had to take the video footage from the camcorder and upload it to YouTube. Okay, it was a very tedious process. All right, here's the mistake. Once I launched my YouTube channel, for a couple of years, I was doing great. I want y'all to see this. So I was building up a following, and you all see this? Yes. I was building up a following. I had probably close to 2,000 people following the channel. And I'm going to show you 11 years ago. Look at this. 6,000 views, 23,000 views, 8,000 views, 9,000 views. I was getting thousands and thousands of views. And what I noticed, I was like, more people, some of my competitors are putting videos on YouTube and they're kind of similar to mine. I don't want to be on YouTube anymore. Biggest mistake. Write these words down. YouTube. Write those words down. Write that word down. YouTube. My biggest digital mistake was taking my content off of YouTube and going strictly on Vimeo. So for about 10 years now, all of my video content, whether it's educational or me working with home buyers and home sellers, has stayed on Vimeo. YouTube back then wasn't paying people. When I first got on YouTube, they weren't paying influencers money to post videos. Now there are people making millions of dollars off of YouTube. But the audience effect, like YouTube is in almost every household now. You can, when you buy a flat screen TV, there's a YouTube app that comes with your flat screen TV. This was like that investment that I missed out on. I probably missed out on tens of millions of dollars by not keeping my content on YouTube. So the lesson in this is, it's a couple of lessons. Don't have a scarcity mentality when you're building your business, which I had 12 years ago when I started creating content. Lesson 2 is the scarcity mentality will keep you hidden from people that you can impact. So I know I missed out on deals. I missed out on potential students coming into my programs because they just didn't see me. YouTube is free, ladies and gentlemen. It's free to post videos. Video marketing, I believe, is one of the most powerful ways to market any business. So whether you do real estate, whether you do art, it doesn't matter what type of business you run. Um, the sky is really the limit. Like it's infinite potential on YouTube. So I'm gonna just give you an example. I'm gonna give you two examples. This is DJ Vlad. Okay, this is a controversial journalist that's on YouTube. I'm gonna show you when he started. Let's go to his videos. He has 4.9 million subscribers. This is all he does for a living. This guy was dead broke when he started his YouTube channel. Okay, I'm gonna sort by most by date added oldest. He got on YouTube 14 years ago, just 3 years before me. 3 years before me. Okay, I didn't know about him 14 years ago. I'm not a hip hop head like a lot of my buddies. People knew, I mean, I just didn't know about who he was back then. He was very popular, disc jockey back then. But anyway, look at 14 years ago. He had a couple thousand views. Okay, 39,000 views, 17,000. Okay, 5,000. Kind of similar to me, right? Okay. And he's in a hip hop world. It's a bigger base, fan base. But now let's look at how many views he gets now. Still around the same, like 93,000, okay, 272,000, 150,000. But he's got 4.9 million viewers, like subscribers, people that watch his stuff daily. Okay. I just wanted to show y'all a comparison of someone that took massive action, stayed the course, and someone like myself that veered off the course. I'm not saying I would have 4.9 million subscribers, but I'm pretty sure it'd be close. It'd be close to a million, six figures, because I was one of the first people there at the time. But you know what? None of that matters, right? None of that even matters. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. None of that matters because today's a new day, and everybody gets a fresh start. Every day you wake up, every day you get a new chance, a new shot at actually doing this thing, right? Thanks for the folks that are logged in this morning. So that's like my biggest mistake, digital mistake, is not staying on YouTube. But we're back, and we're gonna come back stronger than ever because number one, the culture is awake now. 14 years ago, when I speak to the culture, I'm talking about people that look like me, the hip hop world. It was very few people. It was only me and a guy in Atlanta, Sam Bell, who Sam Bell is no longer in real estate, but he's a multimillionaire digital marketer. YouTube led him into digital marketing. Okay. Just bought a 6,000 square foot mansion in some part of Florida. He's like on a lake. I said, Sam, man, you got your kids on a lake? Aren't there alligators down there? He was like, man, those alligators don't come near the house. You know, I'm an up north guy, but this is a guy that I met, a relationship I built off of YouTube. So that's the other thing. Like YouTube is a platform. Once you all start producing content, you're gonna start producing new relationships that you would not have had. Okay, and that's one relationship that I built back in the early 2000s from YouTube. Sam Bell, we're still friends today. We've done business in the last couple of years just from the relationship we built off of YouTube. YouTube, I consider, is the first social media platform besides Black Planet and MySpace. I'm pretty sure a lot of you remember Black Planet. Okay, I feel as though Black Planet was the roadmap for MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That was the first place. Um, I don't know. I think they sold the company. I don't even know who the owners were or the founders of Black Planet, but it was an ingenious idea. So the culture is awoke now. It's starting to really wake up. And what I mean by that, what we're gonna see, ladies and gentlemen, is like the younger generations, like the gentleman I have on Zoom today. When I was in my 20s, there were virtually nobody my age in real estate. I was like the lone guy. I was the crazy guy. Marcel, how are you gonna do this? You don't have any money. How are you gonna do that? Like it was so much skepticism. And but now it's normal to see a 20-some-year-old buy and flip a house. Like that's the normal thing to do now. Okay. So the tide has shifted, and it's a beautiful thing to watch because I was there when this wasn't happening. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Um, so again, the lesson is get on YouTube, folks. All of you have passions. All of you have skills. Um, share it with the world because it may not be a business right now, but as you create content, okay, YouTube will notice, and now you can share in their revenue. Okay, people will, as you build an audience, people will pay to use your platform. So this is like last podcast, we shared the trade line supply revenue stream. I really appreciate the folks that sent feedback about last podcast. A lot of you said that you didn't know you could generate income, and now you're going to be generating income from you allowing authorized users on your credit accounts. This is great. This is what Freedom and Wealth Secrets is all about. Well, here's another revenue stream, but you got to put that time in. We got to create content. I don't care if you create content about my podcast, about you investing in real estate. Like, there's no more scarcity mentality and mindset. Okay. You cannot have that. We're in a digital information world now. In the early 2000s, I was like, oh, look at this guy copying me. Let me go to Vimeo. I'll create my own island, my own community. And it was like a shot. It was like a shot in my heart. Okay. The traffic stopped, and I was fine with it because my real estate business was running fine. My educational business was doing great. And that's because I had built up a good YouTube following and then Facebook came out, and Facebook, I was building on Facebook, and my clients were just coming left and right. But I missed a whole bunch of other people that I could have impacted. Okay. Now, I've had several of my former students build tremendous followings on YouTube, and they've been able to impact people with the systems that I shared with them over the years, and that's great. So I know I'm impacting people indirectly, but 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 this I had to share one of my biggest mistakes. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up for Derrick Anthony, who has a YouTube channel, right? And when he posted his YouTube video of a deal we did, he got like 10,000 views in like a month. And that's when I knew I was like, oh, I got to get back on YouTube. So this is the relaunch of the YouTube channel, REI Inner Circle. If you're watching this, I want you to go subscribe, okay, to REI Inner Circle on YouTube. Okay, go subscribe right now. Doesn't cost you a thing. And I actually have a giveaway. I'm giving away my first book. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me see if I can find Derrick. Folks, put in the chat if you got anything from that case study of my biggest mistake, digital mistake. Did you learn something? I want to make sure like this information is impacting you in a positive way. Did it make sense? Did I confuse you? I want to make sure I was clear in that message. So let me know in the chat. Did it make sense? Just put a yes if it made sense. Okay, good, good. Makes sense. Derrick, are you there? Can you turn your camera on, brother? I just saw Derrick. Hey, Derrick, are you there, buddy? Let's see. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? What's going on, Marcel? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Let me try to pin you here so folks can see you. And I'm going to just ask questions here. Derrick, you're rocking and rolling, man. You're like that new generation that I was talking about. How old are you now?
26.
26. Wow. 26, man. I had just finished, I think, my first rehab project in Westport. What
Okay.
number are you on?
Um,
You gotta
4 or
look at the
5,
whiteboard.
something like that. 4 or 5. I think
So
5.
you renovated 5 houses
Mm-hmm.
and you're 26. You're just 26. This is
Yeah.
amazing. Um, all right. So I wanted to bring you on, man. This is episode 10. It's a very important episode because we're taking this episode to YouTube. And your generation and younger are I would say the second coming to this financial revolution that started, I'm going to throw it out there, back in 2006 when my buddy Sam Bell put that first video on YouTube. That sparked my interest in one day. I watched this guy wholesale houses in Atlanta, and it sparked my interest one day to launch a YouTube channel when I got out of college and I was in real estate. And I did that, as everybody saw, back in 2010. You grew up in the YouTube era. Am I right by saying that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Got you. So that's like a normal part of life now, right?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube has become a huge platform to where I think now they provide TV services with YouTube Premium.
I'm a member.
Yeah,
Listen, I paid a little. I think I pay $15 a month. I get free movies, documentaries, and I can rent. It's crazy. Um, but I'm trying to drive this home because I don't want people to think they're too old to get on YouTube. They're not old enough. No, this is YouTube is, I believe, the biggest thing online next to Google in regards to content. Um, my 4-year-old son, he doesn't ask to watch television. I've never heard him say watch television. It's all YouTube. And then that's the same sentiment I'm getting from his peers. They're all talking about YouTube. So if the 4-year-olds are talking about YouTube now, where do we need to be as business owners, as entertainers, as content creators, as influencers, as creatives? Where do we need to be? That gives us the answer. YouTube. Okay. Who owns YouTube? Google. We're talking about investing here. Well, what would be a smart investment? Maybe Google stock. I'm not a financial advisor. I forgot to give the disclaimer. But folks, any information that I share today, don't take it for financial advice. Use it as informational purposes only and sometimes entertainment purposes. But do your own research. And depending on your own financial circumstances, I recommend that you seek a expert out that gives financial planning advice, et cetera, et cetera. So back to you, Derrick. I want you to break down this deal you just closed. Um, you loaned out money to someone in our network, the Inner Circle network, and they were how did the deal? Were you funding the rehab or they needed
yeah. So I was
acquisition money?
Yeah, so I was funding the rehab, and it's funny because I actually wholesaled in the house too. And
So
yeah,
look, that's something we teach in the inner circle. We call it the merry-go-round. So you use the merry-go-round strategy, and you got paid more than once. How many times you get
yeah, I
paid on this
got
deal?
yeah twice, and then my mom got paid too because she sold the house for him. So he
Let
made
them.
out.
Who says that? Jeezy.
What do you
Let the
say?
money circulate.
Maybe I mean
We're
that's
we're
your
referencing.
time.
We're referencing. we're referencing a rapper, folks. If you haven't noticed, rap music has taken over the entire music industry. Again, going back into some of my mistakes, and it's not some of the mistakes we make in life sometimes aren't really our fault. It's just us not knowing. And it's our embedded belief systems that our parents ingrained in our heads. So I came up in a household where rap music was frowned upon. Okay. It was frowned upon. It wasn't ever embraced until later in life. Uh, and God rest their souls. Both my parents passed when I was a young child, so it was embraced then, right? Well, I could tell you like the cultural shift, like culture and business go hand in hand. I'm telling y'all, folks, look at your life experiences. Okay, I can only speak through my lens. So by my parents sheltering me from gangster rap, hip hop in general, there were only a certain type of rap I could listen to, like MC Hammer, uh, but I couldn't listen to an NWA or Run DMC. Really, the groups that really shifted the culture. And I understand Luke. I don't know if you know about Luke, young fella.
No, I know who Uncle Luke
Oh,
is.
you did, Uncle
Yeah.
Luke. So it's some certain things that you do want to keep your kids away from, but at the same token, you gotta stay tapped into the culture. Okay, y'all. I'm telling you from experience. I was disconnected, and it was if it wasn't for my grandmother. One day we used to so the schedule was this is gonna be a long podcast today. Because Derrick has some more to share, and I got a book to give away. Um, my grandmother, after school, we would go to my grandmother's house uh, before my parents got off of work. And one day I'm sitting, I had this routine. I would come in the house and I would watch the Smurfs. Like I'm really embarrassing myself here. I would watch the Smurfs. I think I would watch like Dennis the Menace. I would eat some peanut butter cookies, and then it was homework time. And then it was like the evening would roll around, and you had the Cosby Show or whatever. And one day she was like, "Have y'all watched this new show?" And I'm like, "What new show, Grandma?" And she said, "The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air." I'm like, "What? What's that?" And my dad was in here. I remember this. My dad or my mom, they were in the house with us, right? They were picking us up. And she was like, "Y'all didn't introduce the boys to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air TV show?" And they like, "Nah." And I'm like, she turns it on, and I'm like, "What?" Like this, I fell in love with that show. Like, look at where the Fresh Prince of Bel Air has taken Will Smith. Like, they don't show the Smurfs no more on television. Like that show was a cultural shift from the Cosbys to kind of like real world. Like those are the type of kids I hung out with in my neighborhood. I didn't know anybody. I knew like one person that lived like the Cosbys, and maybe it was my own family at one point, but it was like outside of my family, it was one other family like that, and then my family turned into the Will Smith family due to certain circumstances out of my control. So I just want to drive that home, folks. I want to drive it home. Like our culture is not only moving the music industry now, it's starting to move the financial industry. And when we move an industry, we move it. Just pay attention to what's happening right now. I'm talking to the next generation. This young man here, who I talk to on a daily basis, and we talk about music, and he knows a lot about artists. I have no idea. He's like, "You're out of sync." What do you say? What do you say? I'm out of touch.
Out of touch.
Yeah, but I love it though, because you teach me, man. You teach me, and I'm seeing the change in hip hop where more rappers are now talking about investing in real estate, investing in cryptocurrency, investing in stocks, investing in businesses. It's beautiful. 15 years ago, it was one rapper talking about this, and this was Nas and his friend AZ. But nobody really paid attention to it. I did because I was in business back then. But now Jay-Z, who's now mainstream, Kanye West. Shout out to Kanye West, folks. Outside of his personal business, you have to check out his Netflix special. It's 3 parts. I'm rewatching it. There's so many jewels that are shared in that. You are seeing a young man who really built his career from scratch, straight will determination. I don't know his particular financial situation at one point during the documentary, but I believe he was already signed. Instead of jumping out there and buying a luxury car, he continued to drive, I believe, his mom's Nissan Altima with one hubcap. Like, I look at the little things to someone's journey. Like, don't look at that documentary as entertainment. Look at it as a blueprint to how to become successful in life. He went through struggle, adversity. Okay. He had to deal with a lot of negative energy. He had to persevere. Like, that is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen that gives us inspiration, that gives us knowledge that can be applied to different parts of our lives. The guy's a genius. The guy, Kanye West, they call him Yeezy, is a genius. All right. Fearless as well. Fearless. He was going back. Listen, folks. His friend, for the folks that haven't seen this, I'm gonna tell y'all and share with y'all the importance of video. His friend that recorded the documentary. Okay. I can't remember if it was Kanye's idea, but his friend had a camcorder. Okay. He was recording people way before YouTube was popping. Like, he pulled out that camera, a camcorder, way before YouTube was like the place to be, way before premium membership existed. And it made him, I know Netflix cut a healthy 7-figure, 8-figure check, maybe 9-figure check for this. Okay. So the guy behind the camera, multi-millionaire now. If he wasn't already before, because he's in Kanye's network. Kanye's a billionaire. I mean, if you're hanging with a billionaire, you should be a millionaire. But it just shows the power of video. Like, that's timeless content that they now have been able to monetize. And again, it was the journey of them. Who's to say some of you are new real estate investors? Record everything you're doing, from the phone calls, to you going to look at properties, to you going to the sub shop to get something to eat because you've been out all day. Whatever it is, show that journey. Like, this is the new world. People want to see different parts of your life. You don't have to show them everything. You show them just enough to stay interested. Okay. Kanye has one of the biggest fan bases in the world. He understands marketing. Okay, when you watch Kanye West perform, look at it from a business marketing standpoint. What is he doing different than everybody else to make everybody come to him? If you want to be a successful business owner, you have to get people's eyes on your business. So watch the great people like Kanye West. Watch how they do it. Okay. Derrick, we were talking about this deal, man. Can we get back into
Yeah.
this latest deal? So your mom
Right.
sold the house. So you got paid really your family got paid 3 times
Right.
on the transaction. And you were able to help another family make money.
Yeah.
Well, 2
Several.
families, because yeah, several families ate off of this deal.
Right.
So it was a wholesale deal. You wholesaled it.
Mhm.
How'd you? There's a lot of people in here that want to wholesale, that are wholesaling. How'd
Mhm.
you acquire? Was it a cold call?
Um, this was actually a deal I got from a realtor. I think it originally, I don't know, because I'm really hands-on with the rehabbing now. So I have a partner that handles like all of the wholesale and has a whole department that does all of that as far
Uh-huh.
as like direct mail and the marketing. So I really don't know how that stuff works because
So your
I'm not really,
wholesaling business is automated right now.
yeah, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Uh, VAs and stuff like that that make cold calls and everything. Uh, I jump on the phone from time to time again, but I really am more hands on with the rehab and stuff. That's where I'm at. But when a deal does come in, I'm more so hands on with taking it down, looking at the numbers and stuff like that. So I do recall it came in. It was a guy who had the house. He was actually fixing it up because when I went to the property, he was like materials left. There was some stuff that he did fix, and I'm not sure like what happened if he ran out of capital or what, or just wanted to let the house go. But his friend was a realtor, and they were looking to list the property or whatever. And I told her I would buy it cash before she did that, and we just pretty much came to an agreement like that. And I knew somebody that was looking for a house, um, another project, because he had just sold the house that my mom helped him sell before,
Mm-hmm.
and sold him that house. He liked it, fixed it up. Said he needed some funding for some stuff, so I was able to help him out with that as well. And then put it on the market. I think my mom had it under contract within a week or something like that, and they was able to settle like within that same month, which is
Wow.
great for someone who, for folks out there. If you flip a house and you get somebody who's interested in buying it, if you can have someone who can settle like within that same month that they put the house under contract, that's a super plus because one of the most important things when buying and flipping houses is like the time frame. So if you can have somebody who's interested and can buy it and can settle quick, they're already pre-approved and everything, um, that's a super plus. So that was great for them.
Excellent. Excellent. Derrick, before I let you go, you're rehabbing. That's one thing that you've kind of like fell in love with, rehabbing houses. You're rehabbing a house right now. Could you tell us a little bit about this project? Is it about the market? What did you
Yeah,
buy it for?
y- yeah.
What do you plan to sell?
This house is a probate lead that came in. I do know that because I was pretty hands on with this house. This house is a probate lead that came in and belonged to a guy. He passed away. Pretty much, his sister, I think, was the one that kind of got left the house, whatever. She's not from here. She lives in Southeast DC somewhere.
Hmm.
And when you have family or have a house that's out of state that belongs to like your cousin or somebody, you're not really hands on if you're not in the business. So pretty much she fell behind on the taxes and stuff like that, and um, just was looking to sell it. So I really bought the house for how much was owed on the taxes. That was about 20, I'll say 29,000
Hmm.
total. It really
Mm.
was less, but it was taking so long to settle. The taxes kept increasing every month. So I originally was supposed to get the house for about like maybe 2025, I want to say. But it took like several months to close this deal. Dealing with the city and liens and stuff like that, there's a lot of red tape that has to be done with that as far as title attorneys, and they have to look up people and stuff like that. So that kind of slowed everything up. But I got it for about 29,000, which is still a great deal. Putting about 75,000 into it, and which is actually good. Well, if you have enough time, I could share some more. But
Yeah,
there
go
was
ahead.
actually so that house that I'm doing, there was another house I had that was on that next block. I'm not sure if you recall if I showed you that house or what, but my plans were to rehab two houses at the same time, which hindsight, it was a great idea because I knew the first house made sense. But that first house I wholesaled to somebody else, a huge corporation here in Maryland, and he fixed it up and sold it for 190.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I sold it to him for about 35 and some change. It's a smaller house than my house,
Yes.
but the comp on that block was for like 170. So I wanted to keep it because I was getting two houses for like less than 30 grand, I said. And I knew that they had a comp on that block for 170. So I knew I could be able to sell it. But when I took my lender pass, there's a ton of houses that were vacant across the street. So he had several concerns. So he didn't like the block. So I didn't move forward with that property. Maybe I should have took it to like another lender, but that's looking back. So he liked the house that I'm doing now, though. He loaned me the funds for that property. And since things haven't been taking long, but I'm glad I did sell it to them because they raised the comps. Because originally I was only planning on selling my house for like 170, but now I'm maybe pushing 200. So that's an extra 30 grand.
Beautiful.
That's good. But yeah, the house is pretty much done. We're gonna wrap things up on Monday. We were supposed to be there today, but they had another project.
You just nailed down on something that I talked about earlier, the scarcity mentality. You went into that deal knowing with the belief that you were only going to be able to sell that house for 170. And you could have, like, sometimes having a scarcity mentality, folks, is like being selfish. But in Derrick's case, he was selfless. And he sold the property. He had an abundant mindset, mentality. He sold the property. He got paid handsomely, a few $1,000s on that wholesale deal. But when he sold the property, he sold it to one of the biggest home buyers in Maryland. They renovated the property and then they raised the comps. That look what happened. They raised the comps and he was able to put an extra 30 grand in his pocket now. That's beautiful. That's a win-win-win across the board.
Yeah. So I'm happy it turned out that way, but things are pretty much done at my house. We were supposed to be there today, but they're at another project. So Monday we're gonna go back, finish up small stuff, and have the cleaning crew come in next day, and then hopefully take some pictures next week, and then it'll be live on the market. So if anyone that's interested in a house for sale, let me know.
I love it, man. Hey, what's your IG handle?
It's GQ Derrick. So that's GQDERRICK.
GQ Derrick on Instagram, folks. And we talked about YouTube, man. And you kind of woke me up to YouTube. What's your YouTube channel? I know you ain't been putting a lot of videos
I don't know.
There.
I'm on TikTok now. I got a TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok.
We didn't talk about TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah. I'm on TikTok now.
Let me show you something. That house, I don't know if I can show this.
Yeah,
that
you
house
can show it.
I just funded. I put that on TikTok. I got 993 views in less than 24 hours.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right.
Let's see it.
So like this. Let's see
No,
it. Can you see
pull
it?
it up. I want to see the views. Pull it up a little bit.
Oh. You want to see the
Oh, we
views?
can't see the
Okay, so
views.
yeah, you see
Oh yeah, I see
900.
it.
Well,
You got
it's back.
1,400 on the other house.
Yeah, that's the house I did the big house.
Look, we're sharing
So
TikToks. I'm
TikTok is
REI
Supreme House
Success REI
Maker.
Success Maker.
Mine's is Supreme Houses on TikTok.
Supreme Houses on TikTok.
Yeah.
Look, we're learning, folks. I'm learning. You're learning. Get on TikTok too.
Yeah, you can get tons of views on TikTok because there's like billions of people literally
From all
on
over the world.
TikTok.
So TikTok, I
From
think, is
all,
competing with YouTube, but I think YouTube is the king.
yeah. YouTube is still the
YouTube
best.
ain't going nowhere. They might acquire
No.
TikTok. Who knows? Google
Yeah,
might
for the right
cut that
price.
check.
Yeah.
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 Somebody's going to buy it.
That's
Everybody
always
has
the
a
goal
number.
in business. Yeah.
It's always a goal.
Build up a company and sell it, and you don't do anything else
Uh
after that.
huh. You can just travel the world. Look, freedom and wealth seekers. How'd you like Derrick's interview? Let Derrick know you loved him in the chat. Maybe we bring Derrick back. Let us know if you like Derrick's interview. Derrick, hang around. You actually already have this book, but
What book
I'm
is that?
gonna share. I'm gonna share my first book. Let me open up. People like Marcel's giving a book away. Yeah, I'm giving a book away, but you got to do something for it. I'm not just going to email it to you. You got to do something. I will give you all the story on this book. I'm going to share my screen here. You will not find this book on the internet. So if you're lazy, you think you're going to
I
find it.
have that book.
Uh-huh. Do not send it to anybody on this call.
For the right price, they can have it.
Well, I'm giving it away for free,
Oh,
but you
okay.
have to. And this is for the people that are viewing the replay too. Like, if you do this exercise, I'm going to send you this book. So I can say with confidence, with belief, with conviction, this book has created millionaires. I can look you straight in your eye. This book has created millionaires. I have my receipts to uphold that statement, to support that statement. I have several folks, and I'm going to run two names that are I consider pretty popular now on the internet in regards to real estate. Two of my friends now. It's crazy. I wrote a book, and these guys became friends after they purchased it. The first gentleman is a gentleman named Nas. He goes by Nasir, the real estate guru. He bought this book back in 2010. If you know his story, he started his real estate career 2010, 2011, but he bought this book, and it changed his life. He's now a multimillionaire, real estate investing extraordinaire down in North Carolina. Along with he's partnered recently. Now Max Maxwell didn't buy my book, but him and Nasir are business partners, and they teach people all over the country how to invest. They're doing some beautiful, amazing things. Also, Chris Jefferson down in Florida purchased this book, and he told me when he purchased it, he sent me a screenshot of his purchase. He said, "Marcel, this book just got me back in the game." And Chris Jefferson is one of the premier wholesalers, home builders. Both him and Nasir both building homes. But I'm just happy and grateful and blessed to have impacted those guys' lives who are now impacting others. And I want to do the same here today. Um, this goes into that digital mistake. Like when I got off of YouTube, I took my ebook off the market. And the only time I put it back on the market if I was selling it at a premium. So it was like $47 in the beginning, and then it went to 97, and then it actually went to $997 at one point. So there are people out here that have the same book that some of you are going to be able to get for free. They paid up to $1,000. I also gave this book away to anybody that attended certain boot camps that I held in the past that paid anywhere from $497 to $2,497. to attend a 3-day boot camp. So just outside of the monetary value, the impact value is an infinite. I mentioned two names. There's several other people around the country. When I put this book out in November 2010 on Thanksgiving Eve, there's several people around the country that I don't know and that I do know that have been able to walk away from their jobs, create 6-figure and 7-figure real estate investing businesses after reading this book. And anybody will tell you the principles in real estate are all the same. Okay. So the information in this book, some of the resources, they still work today. Okay. Some of the resources don't work, like the websites that I mentioned no longer exist, but the principles and the methods still work today. You could take this book and you can make money with it. So the foreword was written by a guy who's outside of my culture. Okay. This was the only guy that I knew um, that had influence in the real estate world. When I wrote this book in 2010, literally there was maybe a small percentage of African Americans at the local RIA meetings, um, at the big real estate conventions. It was a very small percentage. And when I say small, I'm talking like 2 to 3% maybe. Now, depending on the conference, we are 100% in attendance. I love it. Um, but this is a forward by Steve Cook, who believed in me way before 2010, was a real estate investor in Baltimore, Maryland, made millions, lost millions of dollars. So he was a cycled real estate investor. He now changes people's lives through his Life in There movement. I was a part of that. Anybody that's going through any type of struggles in life, I don't care if you're in your 20s, 60s, 70s, 80s, look up Steve Cook, Lifeonaire, okay? Not millionaire, Lifeonaire. This is a man that made millions of dollars and lost millions of dollars, changed his life around, became debt free, and now is changing the lives of others. But it started with real estate, okay? He was one of the first guys I found on YouTube. Back in before I found Sam Bell, I found Steve Cook. Okay. So Steve Cook may as well, I would say, after the cultist sheets, the Ron LeGrands of the world, these are all seminar info guys. Steve Cook was the first internet guy. Okay. He was the first guy I saw sell a course on the internet. All right. So just to give y'all a little bit, I'm gonna toe dip. I'm gonna let y'all toe dip in the book a little bit. Look what I take you through. First thing, we're gonna talk about mindset. Do you really have what it takes to do this business? Then I'm gonna share my story, which a lot of you know. Then we're gonna go into some basics. What is wholesaling real estate? Then the benefits from wholesaling. Then how I started wholesaling. Let the bird dog off the leash. I'm getting into strategy at this point. My Fab Five deal maker strategies, folks, these have not changed. Okay. These five have not changed. My Fab Five. We still use them today. Okay. We buy houses, marketing ammunition, how to identify a motivated seller, deal or no deal, how to evaluate a deal. My flop to flip formulas to evaluating deals, how to build a winning team in this business, presenting my first offer. Once your offer is accepted, what's next? Controlling and closing your deal. Your integrity is everything. My top 11 deal spoilers. What makes deals bad? Develop a look. I started with mindset. We're going to end with mindset. Develop a renegade mindset. Testimonials, okay? And then business tips and resources. Some of the books that I read, the links are still working in this file, okay? Flop to Flip Nation was the start. That blog is no longer up. It's actually that takes you right to marcelumphery.com. But this is I'm just scanning you through the book. These are pages. Talk about that first house I purchased. All right. And how you can do this business all over the country. Now, some laws have changed. Like Illinois, you have to get a license. Okay. Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia, you got to have a license to wholesale. But guess what? There's about 40 some other odd states that you can still do this business in without having a license, and you can do it virtually. Okay. And if you got to get a license, get a license. Get that money in Illinois. All right. Get that money in Philadelphia. Just be compliant, but don't let paperwork slow you down. Don't let rules and laws slow you down. Go make it happen. Go make it happen. So how do you get this book? Oh, I got to talk about this too. That is not how I look today. That's my 20-year-old self. Okay. And it's photoshopped a bit. I had an artist put this. I had an artist that was known for putting artwork on hip hop records, party records. Like I wanted it to touch the culture. Matter of fact, this this cover was inspired by a rap artist. I forget, was it either, I don't know if 2 Chainz was out back then. It was a rap artist that inspired this uh this cover. If I come across it, the guy that did the cover is named Sean Icon. I don't even know if Sean is still doing graphic design, but I told him it may have been a Ludacris album. I said, I think it was a Ludacris album. I said, I want my book cover to look like this. And like all the older people in real estate, they were like, you're making your cover look like an album. But I knew like the hip hop culture, it was about to come up in this joint and take over. And we are. We're taking over the real estate business. We're taking over all financial sectors. And I'm not saying like taking over and running things. We're here. We're in the doorway. We've opened up the door. There's no excuse now. The information is at our fingertips. Literally, if you want this book, this is what I need you to do. I actually wrote these directions down. Step one, I need you to go to REI Inner Circle, the YouTube channel. I need you to subscribe, okay? If you're not subscribed already, I need you to subscribe, screenshot that you subscribed. I also need you to just go through and like 5 videos. That's it. Go through and like 5 videos. I'm going to send this in text form. And I also need you to like and comment on this episode. Like and comment. Okay. I need you to screenshot that. If your name is not your name, yeah, I need you to screenshot that. And all you got to do is text this to me that you've done these steps. And then I need you to share after you like and comment this episode, episode 10, that will be uploaded on YouTube this weekend. I need you to share it on social media. Like you can share it on your Facebook, you can share it on your LinkedIn, you could share it to a group of friends in a text message. You can share it on Twitter, Instagram. Those are the steps. That's all I need you to do. I'm going to email you. This is what I'm going to throw a bonus in. Okay. Now, real estate is all about taking action. That's all this is. Okay. The people that are successful and the people that are not successful, the difference is the people that are successful took action. I'm not asking you to pull out your credit card, which I could be because this information still applies today. All I'm asking you to do is take action, okay? And share the YouTube channel. Subscribe, comment, like. The bonus that I'm going to throw in, I'm going to throw a bonus in. This is the bonus page that people received. I'm giving this to you for free. Once they purchase the e-manual. All right. Inside the bonus, if you download Adobe Flash Player, you're going to gain access to 10 training videos. Not only are you going to access 10 training videos, they're digital downloads. There's a PDF. There is a mind map. there is my very first, there's a picture here of me at a roundtable discussion, one of my very first live events. Okay. And when I talk about we were not the we were a small percentage of people attending real estate events. Look at that roundtable. I'm the only African American sitting there. This is 2010, folks. That's Jonathan De La Cruz, the gentleman in the wheelchair. Some of you may know have come through the inner circle. He's inner circle alum. But there's 90% Caucasian American in the room. We were just knocking on the door in 2010. The door is now open. There is a bandit sign system here that you can download. The Underground Interview is my first ever podcast with real estate investor and banker Ahmed Hazel. He wasn't a banker during this time in 2010, but he'll share his story in that podcast. It's like the first ever podcast. Before podcasts were ever a thing, that was it. That would have been episode 1, the Underground Interview. And then there's a contract, like the contract that I use in my business. Okay, it's right here for free. I'm giving it for free. All you have to do is follow the steps. I'm going to send a text out with a link to this episode before the end of the weekend with the steps to getting the e-manual and the bonuses. Heck, if you've been paying attention, you probably already have the bonuses right there if you took down that website. But hey, we operate with integrity and we take massive action. So folks, I gave it to y'all today. Like raw, uncut. We're not editing this podcast. We're gonna let it drop on YouTube. This is the first one, and we're gonna keep the ball rolling. It's folks still logging into the podcast. This is excellent. Derrick, you got a lot of love in the chat. We're gonna see if we bring Derrick back. Next Wednesday, we're back on our same schedule, Wednesday, 8 o'clock. If anything changes, I will let you know. I was actually under the weather this entire week, and hey, life happens. But I'm loading up. I actually got my supplements with me today, my vitamin C, and keeping that immune system strong. The weather's kind of tricky in my neck of the woods, but I'm excited, folks. Glad to be here with you all. Thank you for joining us. Shout out to all the Inner Circle members. Folks, if you did apply for coaching and we haven't gotten back to you, understand we're getting back to folks in the order the applications are received. And that's only if you qualified. And the rules and, everything is on reiinnercircle.com in regards to you seeking out a mentor and getting coaching. But folks, we're going to keep this ball rolling. Thank you for logging in. I'm looking forward to adding more value in the near future, and I look forward to seeing you all at the closing table. Take care, folks. God bless.